Hey everyone, what is going on? So we're looking at another Voyager Cup video. This is a tournament video. It's not my tournament, we're shoutcasting it. So thank you so much for submitting these battle clips. I really do appreciate it. And if you would like your tournaments shoutcasted, definitely contact me on either my personal Twitter or my Discord, my Discord link in the description down below. And upload it to Google Drive, send it to me, and I will be more than happy to shoutcast your tournament, whether at the Voyager Cup or regionals, or perhaps even next month's cup, whenever that happens, if it happens. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at his team. He is running Venusaur, Umbreon, Altaria, Toxicroak, Alolan, Marowak, and Lantern. So pretty cool team, pretty meta team, I would say. The Umbreon is definitely interesting. It's not bad. Umbreon is definitely a fantastic Pokemon. The reason I say it's interesting is because Azumel is basically on almost everybody's team. So obviously if you run Umbreon, you have to watch out for that. But it does counter popular picks this cup, like Hypno and Alolan Marowak. So it is a really good Pokemon, ultra tanky as well. So really good, and I do apologize if the quality is a little bit off in these videos. That's the way the clips came in. I'm not sure if it's on my end or the person that submitted me them, but it looks a little bit off, but we'll work with that. I don't think it's too bad, but shouldn't happen for future videos. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at his opponent's team now, running Hypno, Azumel, Shiftry, Toxicroak, Alolan, Raichu, and Mantine. So yeah, we'll definitely see how this goes. It looks like right now Umbreon is going to go ahead and get off that last resort. That is not enough to knock out the Azumel. A little bit of lag, but it looks like they're just continuing. It didn't look like it affected anything. So a foul play is coming out for the Umbreon, and that is going to be enough to knock out the Azumel. He does allow it to go down, bringing in the Toxicroak. So Toxicroak is another popular pick, which can do well against Umbreon with counter, because it is going to be super effective. So foul play comes out, wanting to get that move off against Toxicroak before going down. In comes Altaria, so oh yeah, this is definitely over. Still has 2 shields, doesn't even have to shield, you might as well, right? So gonna go ahead and shield. It is a Mud Bomb, but at this point it doesn't matter. Looks like that's Dazzling Gleam as well on Altaria, so that's pretty cool. I've been seeing Dazzling Gleam on Altaria recently instead of Dragon Pulse, so it does make sense. Pretty powerful move, so gonna go ahead and win game 1 in round 1. So the next game is going to be Umbreon versus Hypno. So definitely a huge match. A huge match for Hypno. Hypno going to be super effective with those dark attacks. Although you do have to watch out for Focus Blast, of course. But going to go ahead and go for the last resort. Expecting maybe the Azumel or Toxicroak even, right? Going to be neutral. Doing a lot of damage. So in comes Altaria. Definitely a favorable match for the Altaria. Can just farm down. Can take the Sludge Bomb just fine. So Sludge Bomb going to be able to take it and then knock down the Toxicroak. So going to go ahead and go for the Sky Attack. Another reason I do like Dazzling Gleam on Altaria is it could definitely catch a lot of Pokemon off guard. A lot of times with Altaria, I generally just go for the Sky Attack. So Dazzling Gleam, you know, instead of the Dragon Pulse, it could definitely catch people off guard. So in comes the Umbreon. Umbreon is going to be able to take this attack just fine. And it looks like Umbreon is, okay, going to go ahead and be hit with another charge attack. This one is going to be another one Umbreon could just take just fine. So Hypno will back out into Azumel. So Umbreon will switch into the Lantern right now. So Lantern definitely favorable against Azumel. If the Azumel has Play Rough, it can fight back. And it looks like that one does have Play Rough, so still doing some pretty good damage. But the Lantern does have that Thunderbolt, so that's going to be super effective to the Azumel. And it's a big tank, right? So Lantern definitely a good option this cup. So just going to go ahead and continue to charge up energy. Going to block this Play Rough. I could have taken it, right? I believe it could have taken, actually going to be an Ice Beam, so definitely could have taken that. So the Thunderbolt is coming out from that Lantern, and this is going to, I believe, be enough. I believe that would have been enough if the Azumel did not shield, but Azumel deciding to shield. So is the Lantern going to shield? It is, so wanting to win that switch advantage. Going to be another Ice Beam, but didn't want to take the chance. In comes Hypno, so out comes Umbreon. So Umbreon going to catch this charge attack. So going to be another move Umbreon could easily take. Looks like it was a CMP tie, so going for the foul play now. A little bit of error there, preventing the excellent, but that's okay because now Umbreon is able to farm down. It does have enough for last resort to use against the Azumel. So going to go ahead and immediately click on that, obviously realizing that the Azumel is left in the back. So going to do a decent amount of damage, not going to be enough to knock it out. And foul play coming out from this Umbreon, and this is going to be enough to finish that Azumarill. So really well played, able to win round 1. However, of course, you guys know that there's 3 rounds, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the 3rd round, leading with Alolan Marowak against Azumarill. So this is definitely not a good matchup. Well, you know what? Maybe it's not that bad because that Azumarill does not have Hydro Pump. So obviously it wouldn't be good if it had Hydro Pump. But because it has Play Rough and Ice Beam, Alolan Marowak actually going to be able to resist both of those moves. So not that bad. I mean, it is weak to the bubbles. But outside of that, it really isn't that bad of a matchup, I guess. So it looks like he's just staying in, taking this Ice Beam. Going to go ahead and go for the Bone Club right now. Bone Club not going to do much. Maybe shield baiting, but not going to get a shield. So this Azumarill looks like it might want to try and farm down. Another Bone Club coming out. This Bone Club still won't be enough to knock out the Azumarill, but he will pick up the shield, probably expecting the Shadow Ball and wanting to win the lead. So Azumarill able to knock out the Alolan Marowak. In comes Lantern, so Lantern will probably just farm down at this point. We'll have to see if the Azumarill wants to back out or not. It looks like Azumarill is going to switch into Shiftry, so Umbreon going to come out. This is not really... Well, we'll have to see, because Last Resort is going to do a good amount of damage to Shiftry because of how squishy it is, right? So, obviously, Foul Play resisted, so just going to go for those Last Resorts. Umbreon going to be able to take these Leaf Blades, but they do come really fast. I love Shiftry. I really do. It's so fast, and it's neutral... It's either neutral or super effective to a lot of Pokemon. Not everything, but to a lot of Pokemon, it's really good. So it looks like this Shiftry going to get off another Leaf Blade, of course. Obviously going to go for those Leaf Blades. Not going to be enough because of how tanky Umbreon is. But Umbreon charging up a little bit extra and going for that Last Resort. So this Shiftry will have to shield if it wants to win the switch advantage. It looks like it does. Actually switching out into a Azumarill. So Umbreon getting off a Foul Play. So this is definitely going to be enough to knock out that Azumarill. So Azumarill does go ahead and fall. Out comes Toxicroak. So bringing in Lantern, I'm surprised the opponent didn't switch into Toxicroak against the Umbreon. Maybe it was a mistake, I don't know. But Thunderbolt coming out from the Lantern, doing a lot of damage. A lot. One Mud Bomb, definitely enough. So that shield comes out. Excuse me, guys, that shield comes out. And Lantern will go ahead and try to farm down, I think. Although another Mud Bomb is going to hit the Lantern. But Lantern will go ahead and shield because it wants to be able to hit this Thunderbolt or Hydro Pump, but the Shiftry comes out and all of that energy is going to go to waste because the Leaf Blade will be enough to knock it out, and he loses game 3, but it doesn't matter because he won the first 2, so going to go ahead and win that set. So the next game, the opponent is having Hypno, Umbreon, Tropius, Lucario, Alolan Raichu, and Mantine. So pretty interesting team. We see another Umbreon, so we'll have to see how that plays out. No Azumarill at all on either player's team, so Mantine just opting to lower the attack with Bubble Beam. Umbreon going to go ahead and go for the Foul Play. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Umbreon wins this matchup. I've definitely had this matchup before in the Open Great League, and I'm pretty sure it's just Umbreon because even though you're lowering the attack, you're still able to take these Bubble Beams really well because Bubble Beam's a weak move, and Umbreon is super tanky. Ice Beam going to hit, but again, doesn't matter. It really doesn't do that much. It looks like it's doing about the same damage as Foul Play. So another charge attack going to come out, going to be a Bubble Beam, not doing much at all. Umbreon going to be able to get off Foul Play. I do really like Mantine as well. I liked it in the Open Great League for Go Battle League, but it's just... It does have a weak move. Bubble Beam is a weak move. It's a good move, but it's a weak move. So Foul Play coming out, going to be able to knock out that Mantine. So Umbreon winning the matchup. It is debuffed, but doesn't really matter. So is it going to want to bail, or is it just going to want to stay in? It looks like it's staying in. So going to go ahead and take this attack. Going to be able to take that Last Resort just fine. So going for a Last Resort of its own. This Last Resort going to come through, not doing much. Again, it was debuffed a couple of times. Even if it wasn't, it wouldn't do much. But the good thing is Snarl is not doing much damage, so the opposing Umbreon not going to really be able to farm down. So Umbreon will faint, but in comes the Venusaur, and Venusaur is going to be doing a lot with Frenzy Plant. We know that. The opposing Umbreon will be able to take it. Let's see if he decides to take it. It looks like he does not decide to take it. Going to shield and go for a charge attack. Venusaur is going to take it. Going to be able to take that. Oh, is that a Dark Pulse? Maybe I think I was saying Foul Play, but it looked like a Dark Pulse to me. But either way, in comes the Altaria. So Altaria versus Tropius, huge matchup for the Altaria. Going to be able to take any of these attacks. Aerial Ace, Leaf Blade, definitely, Altaria is definitely going to win this matchup because it not only is doing a lot with Dragon Breath, but it's also super effective with Sky Attack. So going to do just tremendous amounts of damage. Not even committing any shields. Still has 2 shields. Are going to be able to take that just fine and be able to knock out the Tropius, farm it down for a little bit of extra energy. In comes Umbreon, so going to go ahead and go for the Sky Attack right now. Not risking the Dazzling Gleam, probably didn't want to be hit by a Charge Attack, it makes sense. So going to switch into the Venusaur. Venusaur going to go ahead and shield. And that's going to be a Dark Pulse. Time is almost up, actually. Wow, crazy. This game is actually coming down to time. So Venusaur going to go ahead and go for the Frenzy Plant. Umbreon will shield that one up. And time is about to end. Venusaur going to go ahead and shield. He's going to be up in time. He's going to win because of time. So even if it wasn't the time limit, he would have won anyway. So going to go ahead and win that. So really well played. Looks like they're increasing their friendship as well. Always a nice thing to see. So jumping into round 2, game 2. So it's going to be, okay, that Tropius, not really good for Venusaur. Venusaur does have the Sludge Bomb, which is super effective, but these flying attacks are just doing a lot of damage to Venusaur. So Venusaur going to go ahead and go straight for that Sludge Bomb, not going to risk the bluff. And the Sludge Bomb does connect, doing a lot of damage. I may have shielded that, I don't know. But either way, Venusaur will go ahead and use the shield against this Tropius. Venusaur going to go ahead and go for the Frenzy Plant, hoping to pick up a shield, hoping to save some energy. So he does get the shield. At that point, I guess it was still a bluff, but I would have been close to knocking it out. I probably wouldn't have knocked it out. But either way, in comes Altaria, going to be able to farm down this Tropius. So, and a Charge Attack comes through, not going to do much at all. And going to be hit with another Charge Attack. This one might be the Leaf Blade. Let's see. It looks like it is going to be the Aerial Ace. Okay, so the damage did add up, to be fair, right? Might as well throw them while you have them, but Altaria is still able to farm down. In comes Mantine, just going to go straight for the Sky Attack before it's debuffed. You certainly don't want to be debuffed at all. So the Ice Beam might come through as well. That will be enough to knock out the Altaria, so Altaria does have to be careful. It could be the Ice Beam. It's going to be a Bubble Beam. Okay, so it's not Ice Beam. Switching out, but the Sky Attack will come through, and this attack will be doing a decent amount. In comes the Umbreon, so wanted to get that Sky Attack off before the Umbreons clashed in the mirror match. Going to be able to take these last resorts for days. This is going to be a long and drawn out match. Umbreon mirror matches always are, because the last resort isn't doing much damage to begin with, right? So but it looks like his Umbreon is up in terms of health, so that's always a nice thing to see. So going to be able to take that last resort, going to go for a last resort of its own. Totally makes sense. Let's see what happens. Obviously we know what happened, no shield coming out. Switching into Mantine, okay, so Mantine going to be able to fall from this foul play, right? Unless if it's shield, it does go ahead and use its last shield, wanting to lower the attack, I guess. That Umbreon is just too healthy. I mean, it's not a lot of health, but these Bubble Beams, or Ice Beam in this case, not really doing that much. I mean, it did decent damage. I guess we'll have to see. Altaria, assuming that this is going to be a Bubble Beam, it is, so nice call on the Altaria's part. Gonna go ahead and feint that down with Dragon Breath. In comes Umbreon. Can he get to the Sky Attack? He's clicking on it, he goes for it. Okay, so the Altaria is able to get to this Sky Attack against the Umbreon. This is going to be enough to knock it out. So Umbreon does collapse, and he's going to go ahead and win round 2. But there's always a third game, so we're going to jump into that game. Leading with Lantern against Lucario. Very interesting. Lucario is definitely a fantastic Pokemon. We've seen it in previous cups, like the Kingdom Cup. I always go back to the Kingdom Cup. But for those that were not playing in Season 1, the Kingdom Cup was a really fun cup, in my opinion. I liked it. I liked the theme of it. But either way, Lantern will go ahead and go for a Charge Attack. Looks like this Lucario is just going to easily be able to win as long as it commits shields. Let's see if Lantern does. No, Lantern does not commit a shield. Going to boost its attack with Power Punch. Lucario is definitely really scary when it boosts its attack, so probably going to go ahead and just go for the Shadow Ball. Going to be able to get to it, so this is probably a Shadow Ball, so I'll tell you, it doesn't want to risk it. It is going to be a Power Punch, so nice bluff. Can he get to another one? He cannot. Certainly couldn't get to a Shadow Ball. Maybe was going for it. So in comes Mantine. So again, Mantine we know has that Ice Beam, so Altaria definitely has to watch out. Gonna go ahead and go for the Sky Attack, doing a lot of damage, able to get to another one, not wanting to risk, first of all, the Bubble Beam lowering the attack or the Ice Beam. So Mantine will shield this one up. I don't know, what do you think that Mantine is going for? Do you risk it or not? I probably would shield, or not going to shield. Okay, not going to shield, is going to pay for it by going down from that Ice Beam. But he still has a healthy Umbreon. So this is definitely a pretty good situation, it looks like. So Mantine going to lower that Umbreon's attack. So you do have to watch out for that. Again, going to get off probably another Bubble Beam. So let's see, going to be another Bubble Beam. Okay, Umbreon is able to take it and get off this Foul Play. It was a CMP tie. So Umbreon will be able to easily knock that out. But again, its attack was lowered. In comes Tropius. I don't know, guys. I don't know. This Umbreon might not have enough strength. Yeah, I don't think this Umbreon is going to have enough strength to be able to pull it off. And the reason for that is because it was debuffed, right? So its attack is lower. Foul Play is not the strongest move in the game to begin with. And Tropius is an Ultra Tank. He does have a shield, but it's not going to matter at this point. Just going to take the attacks. So going to take this attack. And looks like he's just... Okay, he is going to go ahead and fight back and go for the Last Resort. Probably realizing that Umbreon is going to faint. But still, going for a Last Resort and then going for a Foul Play as well. Should have went back-to-back Foul Plays, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. Doing a good amount of damage. This Trophy is just going to faint the Umbreon. He's going to lose Game 3, but win the round. So currently 2-0. Jumping into the next game, the opponent is running a Hypno, very popular pick, Azumarill, Registeel, Toxicroak, Alolan Muck, and Meganium. So it looks like we have the Alolan Marowak going for the Bone Club, perhaps a bait. So going to go ahead and go for the Bone Club, hitting the Azumarill, going to switch into Lantern. So this is a really good matchup for the Lantern. We'll have to see if that Azumarill has Play Rough. Even if it does, Lantern still wins this. So just going to go straight for that Ice Beam, so either a bluff or it just simply doesn't have Play Rough. Probably the latter, right? Probably does not have the Play Rough. Most Azumarill I've seen have Ice Beam and Hydro Pump. Mine currently does, but I do see Play Roughs as well, so going to go ahead and go for another Ice Beam. So this is a relatively close fight, I guess, but the Lantern's definitely going to be able to outpace it with these Thunderbolts, going to knock it out. Well, the reason it was close, I guess, is because the opponent used the shield, but yeah, anyway, Lantern going to go ahead and take this attack. What is it going to be? It's going to be a Thunder Punch, so nice neutral damage. Can the Lantern get to another Thunderbolt? It can. It was really risky to go for the Hydro Pump, so just going to go ahead and go for that Thunderbolt. Doing a good amount of damage before it goes down. In comes the Alolan Marowak, going for that Bone Club, wanting to knock out the Hypno before he can get off a Shadow Ball. And the Bone Club will be shielded. This Hypno definitely wants to go for a Shadow Ball. There's no doubt about it. You shield that when you're that low. You definitely want to go for a Shadow Ball. Or not. Perhaps a bluff. I guess it was a bluff. Oh, maybe I guess he shielded because the Registeel was in the back. But now Toxicroak comes in, and this is going to be able to handle the Toxicroak. Definitely does not or handle the Registeel, excuse me. This Toxicroak does not want to see that Hypno. Looks like Registeel might have lagged there, or maybe the opponent gave up. I'm not really too sure what happened there. It looked like lag, but at the same time, the opponent may have just given up. I'm not really too sure, but we'll have to see. It's kind of difficult to tell because when you're not battling in person, it's really difficult to know. You'll have to send the person a message, I guess, on Discord or Twitter, wherever you're communicating. So, Game 2. Alolan Marowak versus Toxicroak. Okay, we'll see what happens. You do have to watch out for the Mud Bomb. This is definitely a Mud Bomb. So does this Marowak want to shield it, or does he want to let it go? Gonna go ahead and let it go. Okay, I mean, it does a good amount of damage. This Alolan Marowak wants to go for the Bone Club. Bone Club is a weak move, but it's not a bad move. So Bone Club going to be shielded. Okay, That wouldn't have knocked out the Toxicroak, but it actually would have done a decent amount of damage. So the Marowak going to go ahead and shield this one up. And going to use a Bone Club. So let's see if he picks up the second shield from the opponent. Looks like he is not going to. And might be able to, yeah, able to farm down with the Alolan Marowak. So really nice play. In comes the Azumel. Yeah, he was going for the Shadow Ball, couldn't get to it. I would have probably went for the Shadow Ball as well. If you missed the Bone Club, like if you miss it, it's not the end of the world because Bone Club is not going to do much to an Azumel anyway. But yeah, I probably would have went for it as well. So Lantern gonna go ahead and go for the Thunderbolt right now, trying to get off some good, super effective damage. Able to be shielded, so not gonna get off that Thunderbolt. Azumel gonna bail into Registeel. Lantern just wants to go for this Hydro Pump, wants to get off this hard-hitting attack, right? I almost said super effective. It's not super effective, but it's going to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, could not get out of there in time. Gonna go ahead and let this attack go through. Gonna be a Flash Cannon. Nice no shield on his end. I actually would have shielded that. Maybe he was counting and he knew it was only a Flash Cannon, but I wouldn't have wanted to risk the Focus Blast because I would have wanted Lantern for the Azumel in the back. But that was nice counting, I guess, because it was only a Flash Cannon, so nice play. So the Umbreon will go ahead and go for the Foul Play. Okay, doing a decent amount of damage. It looks like gonna go ahead. Okay, the Azumel will come in, go for a charge attack, still keeping the shield. Wants to keep the shield for the Lantern, makes a lot of sense. Ice Beam not gonna be enough to knock out the Umbreon, so Umbreon will go for Last Resort. Just wants to add up, right? Just wants to add up in terms of damage. Can get to the other Last Resort. That was very close. I thought he was gonna go down to Bubble, but able to get to the Last Resort. And yeah, that Azumel almost done. Probably could just farm down with Spark at this point. I'm going to go ahead and shield, not wanting to take this attack. It is going to be a Hydro Pump, so that was a nice shield. Going to be able to feint just with Spark, going for that Hydro Pump, and decides to bail on it and go for the Thunderbolt because Thunderbolt is more than enough to knock out the Registeel. And able to take that game. So really well played, able to take game 2. He won game 1 as well, right? I believe he did, but either way, jumping into game 3. So going to lead with the Lantern versus Meganium. So this is a terrible matchup for Lantern. You got to bail because, I mean, you can't do anything against a Grass type with Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump. So definitely not a great situation. The Alolan Marowak versus Azumel is not good for the Alolan Marowak, of course. Shadow Ball does okay damage. I mean, it does good damage, to be fair. It does good damage. Plus the Marowak does resist the Ice Beam and Play Rough. So going to be an Ice Beam. Doesn't resist Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump is enough to knock it out. Going for the bait. I wouldn't have baited there. I'm not saying it was a bad play to bait, but just in case I didn't pick up the shield, like in that situation, I would have wanted to knock out the Azumel. It wasn't a bad bait at all, but I just wouldn't have because I didn't think I would be able to get to another Shadow Ball. As you can see, he can. Although he does pick up the shield with that Bone Club, so that was really nice. Really nice. So able to bring in the Lantern right now. Probably just wants to farm down this Azumel. Going to be a Hydro Pump. Okay, decent damage. Pretty good damage coming in from the Azumel. Yeah, just wants to farm down with Spark, right? Wants to gain all that energy. Able to take this Ice Beam. Going to be able to just take it just fine, right? And then feint down with Spark. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that Thunderbolt, wanting to get off this attack. Hoping to get it off. Going to be that Meganium, but able to bail into Umbreon. In comes Registeel. This is not looking good. Yes, he's up a shield, but it's definitely not looking good. So Umbreon will go ahead and go for that Foul Play. Registeel able to take it. Registeel could bluff. It might not bluff. It probably won't, to be honest. We'll have to see. Does decide to shield. It looks like he actually did bluff, so that was a nice play to bluff that. But either way, Umbreon goes ahead and goes for the Foul Play, wanting to chip away at this Registeel. Registeel is so bulky, right? So Registeel going to go ahead and use the charge attack. Let's see if it's another bait. It is not going to be super effective damage with that Focus Blast. So Umbreon will go ahead and go for the Foul Play right now. And that will, again, chip away, right? Chip away, bringing in the Lantern. So, okay, able to catch this charge attack, probably just a Flash Cannon, as it is. Able to take it. In comes the Meganium, but again, Meganium is going to be able to roll over this Lantern. Thunderbolt and Hydro, I mean, Hydro Pump would do decent damage because it's a powerful move, but it's still resisted and it takes a little bit of time to get to. So Meganium going to go ahead and go for what I assume to be a Frenzy Plant. The shield will come out. But not really going to matter. I mean, these foul plays are just not going to be enough to knock out Meganium. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because he still won the first 2 rounds. So even though he's losing Game 3, at least I assume he's losing Game 3, he still won Round 3 in general. So going to go ahead and go for that foul play. Actually getting that Meganium really close, but the opponent is able to take that. So nicely played. So let's go ahead and take a look at Round 4's opponent's team. Really interesting. We have the Hypno, we have the Azumel, Sableye, which I really like for this cup, by the way, because it counts as Hypno, and I have trouble with Hypno. At least I did. Also Toxicroak, Alolan Sandslash, and Cherrim. So Cherrim recently got a buff with Bullet Seed, so that's going to be really exciting to see. I'm really excited to see the Alolan Sandslash. I know we're doing a shoutcast for this guy, but I'm really interested in the opponent's team. I'm not going to lie. I mean, the Sableye I like as well. So we'll have to see what happens. So Azumel going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam. Umbreon just going to go for the Last Resort. So this Last Resort going to do some decent neutral damage. Not too much. It looks like the Azumel will go ahead and opt to shield it though. So Azumel going to go ahead and get off a charge attack. Probably going to just be an Ice Beam as it is. Not enough to knock out the Umbreon, and Umbreon does get off one more Last Resort. So at least able to take that and get to the Last Resort. So Umbreon does go down, but in comes the Lantern. Probably not going to risk falling down at that range, although the Azumel does go switch out, and in comes Hypno. So Lantern will go ahead and land this Thunderbolt. As you can see, it does land it. In comes Alolan Marowak. Gonna go ahead and go for the bait. Just wants to go for the Bone Club, hoping to pick up a shield. Let's see if the Marowak can get it. He cannot. So hoping to get it, but he wasn't able to. Out comes a charge attack from Hypno. Let's see what it is. Going to be Thunder Punch. Not going to be enough to knock out the Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. Wants to either take the last shield or knock out this Hypno. So Hypno will give up the last shield and faint down with Confusion. Still has 2 shields. So in comes Lantern. Lantern definitely going to commit to the farm down. Going to go ahead and shield this, what I assume to be a Thunder Punch as it is. So Hypno is going to fall to Spark. Actually, it's going to get off another Thunder Punch. That's how bulky that Hypno is. So actually, it's a Shadow Ball. Excuse me. So going to get off that Shadow Ball. And it looks like the Thunderbolt's just going to go straight into whatever comes in. Let's see. It's going to be that Azumel going to easily knock it out. In comes that Sableye. He's going for the Hydro Pump. Actually, you know what? He can get to it because he has a shield. I was going to say you're not going to get to that Hydro Pump, but with a shield, you'll definitely be able to. So, going to go ahead and get to it. Very close game. That was really, really close. Really well played on both players' sides, but really nice. Look how low that Lantern was. Literally 1 HP. That was crazy. So, going to go ahead and win Game 1. Jumping into Game 2 of Round 4. Going to lead with that Lantern versus Sableye. So Sableye hoping to catch that, I don't know what's hoping to catch. Maybe the Alolan Marowak. But Umbreon comes in. Sableye switches out to Toxicroak, and the Last Resorts are going to start flying. Now this Toxicroak is squishy, so this does do some good damage. So Toxicroak will shield it up. Toxicroak going to go ahead and go for, it could be a Sludge Bomb. Let's see what it is. It looks like it's going to be a Mud Bomb. Okay. Perhaps a bait. So it looks like Umbreon is going to get off this Last Resort. Last Resort going to be able to do some good damage to a Toxicroak, but Toxicroak will invest its last shield. So the opponent not afraid to invest shields to protect Toxicroak, but in comes the Altaria. Now you have to remember Toxicroak does have Sludge Bomb, so Sludge Bomb does do a decent amount of damage to Altaria. Going to be that Sludge Bomb. As you can see, one more Sludge Bomb would be enough. So in comes Azumel. Lantern is coming in, so this Lantern really putting in work. I mean, able to counter Azumelos that the opponent on the opposing side makes it a really good Pokemon for this cup, for the Voyager Cup, or for regionals. So Lantern is going to be able to take this Hydro Pump. Again, another Azumel with Ice Beam and Hydro Pump. So I guess, yeah, just going to go ahead and farm this down. This is going to be an Ice Beam, what I assume to be an Ice Beam, I believe. It is going to be an Ice Beam. Lantern could have taken it, but it would have put it really low. So I guess better off just to shield it, right? So let's see what comes in. Going to be a Toxicroak. I assume, yeah, Lantern wants to shield this because it wants to get off probably a Hydro Pump to knock out this Toxicroak. Actually, it wants to switch and get off a Sky Attack. That Toxicroak, did you see that? It bailed as well. So that Toxicroak, not in there anymore. Going to be that Sableye. So at least able to catch the Sableye. This is going to be really... I think this is going to be another close game. So Power Gem able to knock out Altaria. In comes the Lantern. Okay, let's see what happens. Lantern is going to be enough to knock out this Sableye. Looked like a best buddy Sableye. In comes Toxicroak. Lantern just wants to get off that Thunderbolt. This is definitely going to be enough to knock out the Toxicroak. So we're able to win round 4. But of course, we're going to jump into game 3. So Venusaur versus Azumel. So I would say this is favorable for Venusaur. But of course, Venusaur has to watch out for the Ice Beam. Venusaur going to go ahead and go for the Frenzy Plant just to get off damage. The Azumel did switch out into Sableye. Sableye is still going to protect itself. Quite squishy. So let's see. I'm assuming this is going to be a foul play. It is going to be a foul play. So Umbreon definitely able to take it. And Umbreon going to go ahead and just go for these foul plays as well. Neutral damage compared to resisting Sableye's foul play, right? So Sableye probably just going to want to go for Power Gem. I'm assuming this is definitely a Power Gem. Umbreon is still able to take it though. It is a Power Gem. Umbreon can easily take that. Gonna go ahead and go for the foul play immediately. I probably would have charged up a little bit extra and then went for it, but wants to get that Sableye out of the way, so it makes sense. So let's see what comes in. Going to be that Cherrim, so at least we get to see that Cherrim. It looks like it's a Razor Leaf variant, so that's pretty interesting. I do want to try out a Billet Seed one myself. But this one looks like a Razor Leaf variant, doing a lot of damage to that Umbreon, able to feint it. So Razor Leaf, still a powerful move. Obviously Lantern can come in, so Venusaur are going to go ahead and be the choice. The chosen one, and comes in. Going to be I think that was a Weather Ball, wasn't it? I believe it was a Weather Ball, and it's a Fire-type Weather Ball now, so Venusaur definitely going to want to shield that up. Sludge Bomb is going to be shielded as well. Wants to get off another Weather Ball. That Lantern cannot come in, so you're going to have to commit the shield. And hope that this Cherrim does not get to another Weather Ball. Is he going to be able to? Going for the Sludge Bomb. Frenzy Plant would have been enough at that range, but I guess not even thinking about that, just wants to knock it out. You cannot have that Cherrim meet the Lantern. And now in comes the Azumel. Frenzy Plant is going to hit the Azumel, so that's amazing. Even if it didn't, the Lantern is in the back, which would be able to clean up this Azumel anyway. But still able to do a lot of damage and able to feint it with Lantern. So able to win that. That was a 3-0 sweep, I believe, wasn't it? So we're going to jump into the final game, Game 5 of this Voyager Cup tournament. So let me hear the hype. Game 5, Voyager Cup. The opponent is running Hypno, Azumel, Altaria, Bastiodon, Scrafty, and Meganium. So Scrafty, love it. I hope we see it. So that Umbreon is going to go ahead and go for the foul plays. Gonna do not a lot, but I believe Umbreon. I don't know who wins this. I mean, I would say if that Altaria has Dazzling Gleam, it probably wins. But honestly, I have no idea. I've done this matchup before. I just don't know who wins it. So Umbreon, that Altaria will switch out, but the Umbreon will go for the foul play. Scrafty does catch it, so nice play. But in comes Toxicroak, which is going to be super effective and actually resist all of Scrafty's moves. So going to be able to punish the opponent for switching. Power Punch doesn't matter because these counter attacks are going to be actually, you know what, adding up in damage, right? Definitely adding up in damage, but the Toxicroak going to go straight for that Sludge Bomb. Into the Hypno. That Hypno is going to delete that Toxicroak, but Toxicroak already did its job, so it's okay. In comes Umbreon. Umbreon wants to get to that foul play, so going to go ahead and be hit by this attack. Umbreon will shield it up, not wanting to take it. Because he wants to get off this foul play. Definitely wants to get off the foul play. Would be doing a lot. Hypno will shield it up. So the opponent is out of shield. Going to switch into Altaria. So in comes the Lantern. Now Lantern does resist Sky Attack. It looks like this Altaria might be going for a Sky Attack instead of a Dragon Pulse. Or a Dazzling Gleam should it have it. But this Lantern going to be able to do nice neutral damage with the Thunderbolt attack. Okay, doing the good damage, probably just going to farm down at this point, as he does. So farms down the Altaria, in comes the Hypno, this is definitely not going to be shielded. Excuse me, I was going to say this is definitely going to be shielded, but it looks like he's not going to shield it. Not actually doing that much. So the Lantern will go ahead and go for the Thunderbolt. That's why he didn't shield it. So nice play. So in comes the Umbreon, wanting to save the shield for Umbreon as well, just because he knows Umbreon is going to be able to seal the game up. That's not enough to knock out the bulky Hypno, but another Snarl will be able to win round 1. So really well played. So next up, it's going to be the Lantern versus the Hypno. So let's see what happens. So Hypno is charging up, and so is Lantern. Lantern going to go ahead and go for the Thunderbolt. Wants to get off some damage against this Hypno. Hypno will shield it. Maybe afraid of a Hydro Pump. Or not wanting to take the attack. So is Lantern going to shield? It is not. So going to be hit by that attack, which is not very effective. I can't really see what attack it was. I'm assuming it's Ice Punch. Maybe it's Fire Punch. I can't really see. So in comes the Meganium. So Lantern going to bail into Umbreon. And Umbreon is going to be able to take these attacks. So probably actually is going to shield. It would have done a lot. Umbreon could take it. But that shield does make sense. I may have shielded them. I'm not really too sure. But either way, Umbreon will go ahead and go for the foul plays. Going to add up in damage. Okay, just needs to get... Well, one more foul play won't be enough. But maybe after Snarls, we'll have to see. So Meganium will go ahead and hit with Frenzy Plant. Umbreon will go ahead and get off this foul play. So, foul play will not be enough, as I said. But a couple more Snarls. Meganium able to get off another charge attack. Umbreon will go ahead and choose to shield this one up because he wants Umbreon to faint down with Snarl, as it does. So in comes the Scrafty, and a couple of switches. So ultimately we have the Hypno versus the Lantern. Lantern going to be able to take that attack just fine. The opponent does have a shield, so going to be able to shield up this Thunderbolt if he chooses to. Let's see if he probably will shield this one up. Probably, actually, no, he won't. Excuse me. Not needing to shield it up. In comes the Umbreon, so Umbreon will be hit with this charge attack. It is going to not be enough to knock out. Umbreon is so tanky. Well, so is Hypno. So, going to go ahead and go for the foul play. Nice play with Umbreon, by the way. Really well played. So Umbreon looks like they got a little bit of lag. So okay, in comes the Toxicroak. Toxicroak's going to be able to farm this down. It looks like the Toxicroak's going to be able to pull this one off because Toxicroak is going to be able to take these foul plays and power up punches. And wow, he got a little bit of lag there, but it looks like they're going with it. This might be another foul play. That is going to be another foul play. That actually knocks out the Hypno. Wow, I think that lag definitely mattered. Sorry, man. I mean, it's not on me, but it looks like that lag 100% mattered. I guess they went with it. I guess this is going to be game 3. I think this is the last game, so I guess he went with it. That lag definitely mattered because that Toxicroak, I feel, would have been able to farm down that Scrafty and knock it out with counter and then throw a charge attack at Hypno in the back. That's what I thought was going to happen. So I think that lag did matter. I probably would have asked for a rematch in that case. I'd have to, I don't know. It looked like that 100% mattered. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. So Lantern is going to go ahead and go for the Thunderbolt. Let me know if you think that lag mattered. I have to go back and rewatch it, but I think it looked like it did. So Lantern is going to go ahead and take this attack. So that attack will not be enough to knock out Lantern, and Lantern will go ahead and faint though. But at least he took a shield, so Altaria is just going to want to farm down with the Dragon Breath attack. Gonna go ahead and opt to shield this, not wanting to take it. Yeah, that's definitely an ice punch because, not wanting to take an ice punch with Altaria for sure. So Altaria will go ahead and faint the Hypno just fine. Let's see what comes in. Going to be a Scrafty. Interesting, so going to go ahead and go for the Sky Attack against the Scrafty. And what's Scrafty going to want to do? Oh, the opponent's going to... looks like there's a little bit of lag. The opponent quits, and that's going to be it.